subscribe, please click the like button, share and subscribe. It's free.
Sifiso then ordered me to go to the kitchen. The four of them, Carlos, Mapisa, Sifiso and Muzi, remained in the bedroom and they closed the door.
Muva kalokho ke uCarlos kanye noSifiso ke basebentshela ukuthi angihambe ngekitchen bona ke bewu4 uCarlos uMapisa uSifiso kanye noMuzi basala ke ekamereni.
Sifiso then came
basala ekamereni base ke bevala ke nesicapha so
yes it. Sifiso then came out and gave me 15,000 rands. I was shivering. I was shivering since I was not involved in something. I was involved in something before. My Lord, I'll read it as it is. As it's written. I was shivering since I was not involved in something before we all left the hostel in the Polo Vivo at the stop straight. Mapisa and Carlos got into Adam Polo Vivo vehicle and left during the drive to the stop street from the hostel. Carlos kept on pointing his finger at me, threatening me. He was also swearing because I was visibly frightened. I forgot to mention before then.
Before they parted ways.
Before they parted ways, the four of them first had a meeting outside the vehicle. I also forgot to mention that Mtokoziseni asked Carlos at the hostel, "Are you sure you really hit him?" At the stop sign, he pointed me with his finger, saying, "I am telling you, you will shit." And he said, a deal is a deal. He also said, if he hears anything, he will kill me. He doesn't know me. Parental home, but Muzi knows and he will show him. He doesn't know my parental home, but Muzi knows and he will show him.
uSifiso wase ezake waphuma ke wazomnikeza imali ewu15,000 ngangingangazela ke ngoba ke angikaze ngaphambilini ngaba ingxenye yento enjena. Sahamba sonke ke sisuka lapho ehostel sihamba ngayo iPolo Vivo. Uma sifika ke stop street uMapisa kanye noCarlos base bephuma ke bengena kwenye iPolo Vivo bahamba. Sisahamba njalo ke masifika ku stop street ukusuka ehostel uCarlos njalo nje wayengikhomba ngomunye engisabisa futhi ke engithuka nongithuka ke ngoba ke kwakubonakala noma kwakucacile futhi ukuthi ngangisaba. Ngikhohliwe ke ukuthi ngisho ukuthi ngaphambi kokuthi bahlukaneke bona bobani baqale baba nomhlangano ngaphandle emotweni. Ngikhohliwe futhi nokusho ukuthi uNtokoziseni wabuza kuCarlos ehostel unesiqinisekiso sokuthi umshayile yini. Uma sifika lapho ke ku stop sign wangikhomba ngomunwe wakhe wangikhomba ngomunwe wakhe esithi ke ngiyakutshela
Yes, you do wish to proffer comment.
esisho futhi nokuthi ke ideal washo futhi ke nokuthi uma ngabe nje ezwa uzombulala ngoba ke esho ukuthi akazi ukuthi ekhaya kokuphi kodwa ke umuzi yena uyazi futhi uzomkhombisa.
Yes, my lord. The collaboration that I got is that there seems to be mention of money paid to accused number one insofar as his confession statement is concerned. And it is the same with the confession, with this exhibit, my lord, in relation to the confession made by accused number two. That's the first part.
Okokuqala ke engikwaziyo ke mayelana nezinto ke ezihlanganayo kule inkulumo lezi ukuthi ngiyazi ukuthi kwistatement sakhe ke umsolo wokuqala uyasho ke lapho naye ke noma uyakhuluma ke ngokukhokhelwa imali nalana ke manje siyabona kulesi statement sakhe umsolo wesibili naye ke uyakhuluma ngokukhokhelwa imali okokuqala lokho.
The second thing, my lord, the assertion or the question as to whether are you sure you hit him gives an indication, as I said to the court at the beginning, my lord, that this case looked like a robbery gone wrong. That was based on the preliminary investigation and the statements that there were people who came in, demanded money and cell phone, and the struggle ensued. So it looked as a robbery gone wrong. Until then, these confessions were found, which then changed the direction that this was a contractual killing. So this statement, the assertion, or rather the sentence that says, are you sure that you hate him? For me, yes, simply corroborated that assertion that there was an intention to eliminate the deceased, my lord.
Ngishilo ke ngaphambilini ukuthi ke uma uqala ke uphenyo noma ngiqala ke ngophenyo ke esasiphenya ke noma ngakubheka ke lana ukuthi ke kwakuwabantu ke babezobamba ke inkunzi ke kodwa lokho akwahamba kahle ke kodwa manje uma sekuvela le statement ezimbili ke zona ke ila esekwashintsha khona ke manje nokubheka ke uphenyo ngoba ke kwacaca ke kuyona ke ukuthi cha bangasibona abantu abeziwe ngenhloso ukuthi ke bazobamba inkunzi kodwa ke babeze ngenhloso ukuthi ke kukhona ke lo ezobulawe futhi ke nale statement lesi noma lo mbuzo lo oshoyo ukuthi unesiqiniseko yini sokuthi wamshaya noma umshayile ukukhombisa lokho.
I've already dealt with the threat, my lord, insofar as the report I got from Contractual.
Bese ngikhulumileke ngokusabisa mayelana ke nawo umbiko engawuthola kuyena uConstable Zungu.
Have you had sight of the postmortem report?
Yes. During the preliminary stage, my lord, and this is at the stage when I said was basically on the fact-finding mission to establish as to what direction the investigation must take. During that period, one then had sight of the PM report and all the reports, basically, my lord, that were in the statement. That were contained in the docket.
Ingabe wabona yini ke umbiko wodokotela okuyena ke owaye zama ukuthola ke noma ukubheka ukuthi kwakuyini ke noma kwakuyini ayaholela ekuthini umufi ashone ke phecelezi ke lokuthiwa i-postmortem? Yebo ngawubona ke noma ngawubheka ke lowo mbiko lowo kanye nayo yonke eminye imibiko ke eyayikhona ke kwidokodo yila umuntu wayefuna ubheka khona ke ukuthi ke uphenyo ke iluphi uphenyo ekufanele ukuthi lwenziwe.
My lord, I just want to also substantiate this part that when one look at the cold case analysis, that analysis at that stage, it is not to assume a role of the disposers of the statement. It's basically to get guidance, because you need to get guidance in terms of what happened at the crime scene when the said allegation or offense was committed. Now, when you have to do that, you have to read each and every statement and evidence that is in the docket, because you can only get guidance in terms of the direction you must take by equipping yourself with the information that is contained in the docket at the time. And you can therefore not be selective in terms of what you want to read and leave out. If you do that, you are bound to go to the wrong direction. So you simply read the facts which are corroborated by witnesses, objective evidence like your PM report, your ballistic reports, all the experts that did. You read that to simply get the analysis. So I read the PM report on that context during the phase of establishing whether they were intruders or not.
Futhi ke okwenzekayo noma ke engifisa ukuthi ngikutsheleke ngikwazise inkantolo ukuthi ke uma ufunda ke istatement akusibona ke ubheka ke ukuthi ke lapho ke kuyibona benze istatement kwakuyini ke noma benzani bona kodwa ke yila uma ngabe ufuna ukwazi ke ukuthi kwenzekani noma ke ufanele uye ngakuluphi ke uhlangothi kuphenyo lwakho awukhethi ke ukuthi cha lesi statement ngizosifunda ngizosiyeka lesi ngifunde lesi ufunda konke okukhona kwidokodo ilapho ke manje usuzothola khona ke umkhombandlela labo ukuthi uphenyo lakho luya ngakuluphi uhlangothi.
Dr. Steenekamp, the pathologist who performed the postmortem report, has already testified and his report has been handed up as Exhibit L. I just wish to draw your attention to page 2 thereof. If you can just place on record the cause of death.
It says, my lord, consistent with the bullet wound of the chest involving the heart and lung.
Lana ke uma echaza ke noma ke esho ke udokotela ukuthi ke kwakuyini ke imbangela yokushona kwakhe inhlamvu ke noma ke ukumala okushaywa ke iyona ke inhlamvu ungena ke esifubeni nase futhi ke kuzona ke iphunga.
You want to proffer any comment regarding the contents of it?
My lord, I do recall that in this exhibit JJ, somewhere the deponent does indicate that the second shot, if I'm not mistaken, went off while the firearm was pointed at the chest of the deceased. Now that is consistent and it corroborated by the people who were inside the house who saw what was happening during the struggle. It's then consistent also with the PM report that we just saw. And there's also markings where the pathologist indicates that the wound, the entry wound, was in front and it exited at the back. But the critical point, the important part is the entry wound that was on the chest. But furthermore, Lieutenant Colonel Mangena, when he was doing this reconstruction back in 2014, he also made a comment with regard to the entry wound. Then thirdly, my lord, there are postmortem photos that were taken when the postmortem was done, I think on the following day, on the 28th. And they clearly show that the entry wound was indeed on the chest of the deceased, my lord. So there's that collaboration.
Lana ke okuhambisana ke nakho lokho engiqeda ukufunda ukuthi udokotela wathini ke okwaba imbangela yokushona kwakhe kukhona ke la ofakazi ke abakhona ke ababekhona phakathi endlini abashoyo ke ukuthi ke wadutshulwa ke esifubeni kanye futhi ke nestatement lesi esifundayo manje ke exhibit JJ naso ke uyasho ke
Dr. Steenekamp, the pathologist who performed the postmortem report, has already testified and his report has been handed up as Exhibit L. I just wish to draw your attention to page 2 thereof. If you can just place on record the cause of death.
It says, my lord, consistent with the bullet wound of the chest involving the heart and lung.
Lana ke uma echaza ke noma ke esho ke udokotela ukuthi ke kwakuyini ke imbangela yokushona kwakhe inhlamvu ke noma ke ukumala okushaywa ke iyona ke inhlamvu ungena ke esifubeni nase futhi ke kuzona ke iphunga.
You want to proffer any comment regarding the contents of it?
My lord, I do recall that in this exhibit JJ, somewhere the deponent does indicate that the second shot, if I'm not mistaken, went off while the firearm was pointed at the chest of the deceased. Now that is consistent and it corroborated by the people who were inside the house who saw what was happening during the struggle. It's then consistent also with the PM report that we just saw. And there's also markings where the pathologist indicates that the wound, the entry wound, was in front and it exited at the back. But the critical point, the important part is the entry wound that was on the chest. But furthermore, Lieutenant Colonel Mangena, when he was doing this reconstruction back in 2014, he also made a comment with regard to the entry wound. Then thirdly, my lord, there are postmortem photos that were taken when the postmortem was done, I think on the following day, on the 28th. And they clearly show that the entry wound was indeed on the chest of the deceased, my lord. So
Lana-
there's that collaboration.
Lana ke okuhambisana ke nakho lokho engiqeda ukufunda ukuthi udokotela wathini ke okwaba imbangela yokushona kwakhe khona ke la ofakazi ke abakhona ke ababekhona phakathi endlini abashoyo ke ukuthi ke wadutshulwa ke esifubeni kanye futhi ke nestatement lesi esifundayo manje ke exhibit JJ naso ke uyasho ke lo unikeza ngalesi statement ukuthi ke washaywa noma ke wadutshulwa ke esifubeni kanye futhi ke naye uLieutenant Kenel Mangena washo ke naye ukuthi ke umufi wadutshulwa noma washaywa ke khona esifubeni sikhona futhi nezithombe zayo ke i-postmortem ezikhombisa bona lokho.
My lord, this is really not an objection, but is to correct what the brigadier said, that in exhibit JJ, that's where it is deposed that accused number 2 says the deceased was shot on the chest. According to the statement, and I read at page 3 of 6 of the annexure to JJ, it says, I didn't see where Senzo was hit because when the shots were fired, I went outside. So there's no way where accused says, I saw that the deceased was shot on the chest.
Okay. I think my learned friend was just a step ahead of us. We're just on the point of referring to exhibit HH in bracket 1, which you've already referred to. The last sentence. The last sentence, just put it again on record. Last sentence going into the following page.
And okay, it says, as the firearm was pointed at his chest. That's what it says, my lord.
Lana ke okubhaliwe ke lana exhibit JJ lena nanjengoba isibhamu ke lesi sasikhonjwe esifubeni sakhe.
And the assertion I made, my lord, was in relation to this, my lord.
Futhi ke lokho bengiqeda ukukhuluma ke bekumayela nakho lokhu oqeda ukufundwa la.
And if we can just revisit one aspect on page 4 of exhibit JJ. The first paragraph, you've already placed that on record. Carlos and Sifiso then ordered me to go to the kitchen. The 4 of them, Carlos, Mapisa, Sifiso, and Muzi, remained in the bedroom and they closed the door.
Yes. Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord.
We just wish to refer you to the record of the 7th of September 2023, page 20, line 24 to 25, as well as page 21, lines 1 to 3.
Yes, my lord. So it reads as follows, my lord, under Mr. Zungu. He was wearing a black jacket. And then Kwabini requested me and said, Uncle, may I please speak to these gentlemen? They are leaving. They are going now home. I did exactly that and went out. As I went out, I saw Mapisa standing there at the corner.
Mafika.
Is it Mafika? Oh yes, Mafika standing there at the corner. My apologies, my lord.
Lana ke i-statement esikaZungu lesi nabo ubufakazi bukaZungu wayegqoke ijaketi eyimnyama wase uGwabini engicela ke ethi malume ngiyacela ke bengicela ukukhuluma nalamadoda bayahamba sebaya ekhaya ke manje ngenza kona lokho ke ngase ngiyaphuma uma ngiphuma ke ngabona umafika emi khona lapho ekhoneni.
Family, I just listened to what Gininda is doing now. He's trying to cover the holes that he has opened. And the way he is covering the holes, he is throwing Kelly under the bus or under the train. Because now, there's a lot of things that he's saying. Some were there, but he didn't act on them. You have a mastermind, but the mastermind, as he say, he read the statement with understanding so he could know where to start when he does his investigation. That is Gininda. But what he failed to do is to bring all the people in the house, as much as he read the statement. Because it was not hidden that Longwe and Kelly were suspect in this. But he decided to choose who to bring and investigate, and he decided to choose who to arrest. Because today, the social media shouldn't be flooded like they are flooded, everything is flooded. It's through Gininda's corruption. He is protecting certain people, and what he's doing, he is compromising his job. And now he's compromising a lot of people's jobs, because most people, jobs are on the line now, because of how he investigated everything. Because as much as he throw Kelly under the train or under the bus, if Kelly happens to be arrested, she will sing how everything happened. If Longwe Twala get arrested, he will sing too, as what happened. And once those cracks are there, what he's trying to do now, it's useless. Because now he is trying to tell a different story, but he have the wrong people on the dock. Because if he had the right people on the dock, he should have all those people that he thinks they are supposed to be on the dock, and those ones who are outside who are supposed to be in the dock. He didn't bring all those people. So that's where it gives a problem. When we try to analyze as to how he decided to sideline the other investigator and think he was the only one who was the best investigator, that is where the cracks and where the corruption started, whereby he didn't want to arrest certain people and certain people should be arrested. That's where we see the cracks. However, he is trying to rectify this problem, but it is too late now. Even if he tried to fix it, but he's going down the drain, because these people will sing. As much as he is throwing Kelly under the bus, we understand Longwe is nowhere to be found now. There's a lot of things that are being said about Longwe on social media, but we're waiting for the facts to see if anything, because we understand that Longwe has started to sing when he was arrested. That's the biggest mistake Chico did when he sent his son to prison, thinking that he was playing a smart chess game, but the chess he was trying to play now is starting to close the net on them. I wish he understood what he was doing. That's why every time when I do my videos, I always say Chico is, I forget about Chico. I always say Senzo is not sleeping, but he's kneeling praying to get all these people who were part of his killing that are outside. They have to taste the prisons and be sentenced, so that the family of the Mayiwa get closure as to exactly what happened to their son. Because I like that song when they sing it in Zulu, when they say akalalanga ukucinga amadolo. And I say the same thing, usenzo akalalanga ukucinga amadolo, waiting to see all these people who are being protected taken to prison. Then is when he will rest in peace, when the family get closure exactly what really happened to their son. Family, what do you think about all this? Because Gininda now is trying to sing a different tune, and the tune that he's singing, he's throwing Kelly under the bus and his friends. And this case, it's going to go down very bad. Even if Rata decide to sentence these guys, if he happened to sentence them, as we see how now the defense has started good strategy of objecting, so that they put everything on record, whatever the judge is doing. They are very, very smart, and they've taken a certain route that the judge doesn't understand, that there's a lot of things on internet that he has been doing in that court, because internet never forgets. Judge Rata, you have ruined your reputation, if you had one, but you have ruined it. I wish they didn't bring you for this case, because now you have done the worst of the worst. What do you think, family, about this? Drop your comment respectfully. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ngiyanithanda ngothando lukaLove. Ngithi let's fix our justice system. Ngiyanithanda ngothando lukaLove. Noma ngabe izindlu zodaka kusekhaya lapha. Usenzo akalalanga ukucinga amadolo, waiting for those who are outside there who killed him to see justice, and the family can get closure. It's when he will rest in peace. But now he's on his knees. Bravo, bravo, bravo.